Hey YouTube, this is enryuxzero, just posting up a quick video. It's not a full review, but it's just a quick one. I'm going to do a better one of this game soon, hopefully. This is just something I started on ages ago, but problems with my editing software, Anyway, this game is called Twilight of the series. It was a Japanese role-playing game that was ported over to PS2 a few years ago. It's quite an old game now, but it was the first one to come over to Europe and America. There was previous ones in the series. This game also has a different name in America. I'm not sure if it goes by the same. There's quite a unique twist to this one if you're used to Final Fantasy games, because you have quite a variety of playable characters, and it starts off with like two teams of who you play as. So the story is quite in-depth, but at the same time very simple. There may be a lot of playable characters, but there's not a lot of backstory for most of them. The idea is basically two brothers who don't know that they're brothers. They're both half demon, half human, and they kind of fight for their own reasons. They end up joining forces, big bad, blah blah blah. But the story, it's not bad. Overall, it's not a bad story. The gameplay is pretty good as well. If you're strict turn-based, where it's just you pick your attack, then you might want to give this one a shot. And anyway, it's a little different from that, but it's in the same vein. It's not like the later kind of Final Fantasy games which ruined it. The battles aren't in any way time-based. You move around in your own time. You have the battlefield. You move around in the battlefield, position your characters, and attack. Now, all the characters have unique traits. Some of them can do ranged attacks, and different equipment will change the range. You have the guy there that you can see on the screen. His name is Karg, or if that's how it's pronounced, Karg. Anyway, you basically Karg. I mean, this is just the beginning of the game, and each character has their own little uniquenesses. The two main guys fight very similarly. There's quite a good battle system. It works. And this is my first review, so I'm sorry if it's not that great. I will be getting better, and I'll put a lot more time into the full review of this game. But the basic premise of this game is to stick to the story. There's not a whole lot of side quests, and there's not a whole lot of new, unique story in it. If you've played one role-playing game, you've played them all, really. Like, the stories are all basically the same. A bunch of different people will meet up, have to work together to fight off the bad guy, the big bad evil. Now in this one though, the difference is you start off with two characters, and then you meet more humans along the way. And then just in the second chapter, you start playing as a completely different character. You play as a demon, and he makes his own team. And along the way, they meet up, and they have to start working together for different reasons, and it starts to work fairly well. Now, in the way of complaints about this game, I do have a few. One, the story is so dry, it doesn't have any feeling to it. The people who wrote the story, they kind of focused too much on the two main characters. They didn't give much thought to the other characters, and it does really let it down. There's the two main people there that you see, the girl and the guy in the blue. It's very like in Final Fantasy VII with Tifa and Cloud. Like, their relationships aren't very original. But the gameplay is good. The gameplay is standalone. And really, if you like role-playing games, check it out. It's probably really cheap to pick up now. And there are PS2 emulators out there. If you have one, pick it up. Just look for it. Probably not that hard to find. I have the original disc. play it on the PS3 every now and again, and it's not a bad game. And for the time, it was pretty good. I got it when it was fairly new. But there's not a whole lot to say about it really at this point. Like, there are fair few interesting things that happen to it, a few interesting twists, but mostly it comes down to wasting your time playing a role-playing game. I love these games, but there's not a whole lot of uniqueness to a role-playing game. The story isn't bad, the gameplay is pretty good. There's a few little cool things, like the only real side questy bits are part of the main quest. Like there's one bit where you have to go off and catch a lizard by sneaking up on it, and then raise it up to be this big fire monster thing that you can fly around on. And the one thing that let it down is that it's kind of very, oh, what's going to happen next? Oh, saw that coming. Very predictable. But in spite of all its flaws, I love the game. I'll always love this game. It's only the second RPG I actually rebought. I played Final Fantasy VII before this, and I loved it. I still do. I'm playing it again. I'm probably going to end up doing a playthrough at some point. But if you like role-playing games, there's no reason you shouldn't check this game out. There's the battle system I will be doing in my next video. There will be a proper show of how the battle system works. I'll be talking you through it, as well as talking about the characters. I'll be playing a different save file. This is a brand new save file. I'm starting from the beginning. Gonna play through the whole game, but I'll be doing an older save file that was a lot later on. I can show you off. I might just do kind of showing you the different characters and talking a bit about the way that the game works. But it's got the same kind of thing as a lot of other games, where the magic is you level up and you learn magic individual to the character, which is different from a lot of games, but there are games like that. I'm confusing myself now, I'm probably confusing anyone watching this, if anyone is. But the magic is done with stones called spirit stones, and it's like each character can hold a certain amount, and then you can have a party amount, and you can just charge that up. And then kind of the basic one that a lot of them learn is just heal and poison. And not unlike Final Fantasy games, they do have special moves which use up like a lot of stones. Each character has kind of a basic set. Some of them can go invisible with it, some of them can do super powerful attacks, some of them can do special poison or paralyze attacks. But the attack system is really good. It's not just like, oh look, they're that far away, I can attack. You actually aim your attacks, so you can miss completely if you're not careful. But at the same time, the close range people can attack 2 or 3 targets at once if they're beside them. So it is a very good combat system, very different. But different isn't always bad. Really, I shouldn't have made this video so long. It's a good game. I might do a full playthrough of it in video at all. Probably do an after commentary, because with role-playing games, doing a live commentary, you're just stuck with rambling like I am with this video. The story, okay, gameplay, the more I think about it, the better gameplay is. It's very unique, but there's nothing special about the characters. You won't feel as drawn to these characters with a lot of other games. But the graphics aren't bad. In fact, I like the graphics from this, and most role-playing fans won't even care about the graphics. If you're a real role-playing fan, you won't at least. Most of us play older games. But the graphics work very well for it. The character designs are pretty good for a mediocre game. It's not the best game out there, but it is good enough that you should check it out. The monster designs aren't very original, which is something I'll have to give marks against it. Boss fights are pretty good. Pretty intense, pretty crazy. And a lot of it is very repetitive when it comes to just fighting. You fight the same enemies a lot. But the world, you don't have the whole free world roaming like you do in other games like Final Fantasy. It's a map-based one. There's lots of places to look around. And the video's just about over, so bye. Check it out.